Everyone, Brento here. Welcome to another episode of Dump City, where I screw up Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. Um, in this episode, I'm going to be wearing a nice shirt. It's sort of the highlight of the episode. Last week, we had some internet issues. I lost the last few minutes of the stream, but this is pretty much what was happening. I finally got some oil in one of these trucks, and we're going to make an oil delivery. So we're finally able to make some money in this game. But I'll just have a quick look here. 400 rubles, that's not bad. I'm just going to deliver it to Russia here. But in this episode, though, our focus isn't going to be delivering oil. Our focus is going to be continuing construction of Dump City. In the last episode, we started laying out some tracks here. We got our rail construction office up, our train depot. I haven't had any opportunity to really play since the last episode, so it's kind of where it left off, other than some of the missing footage. I'm hoping the internet's good for this one. There's no disconnects. And I think for this one, before we get too into it, I just want to go over, just check over the city. I just noticed it's getting late into October here, and I've mentioned a few times in the series that this game is a little like Minecraft. You're kind of preparing for much of the year, and then a winter comes and everything gets like quite a bit worse. Basically, there'll be snow on the roads, vehicles will move very slow, and we need heat for the people, or they'll get sick. And we don't even have a hospital yet, so we're going to have some problems if they get sick. We've got a bunch of buildings queued up for construction here. I think we have a hospital here somewhere. Where's the hospital? Can't even remember. There it is. So I think we're going to put another hospital on this side later, but for now we've got to finish one at a time. But just before winter here, I want to do one more little side project here. So up to this point in the series, we've been getting most of our construction materials from the border. We get them from Canada, we get them from Mexico. There's immigrants from both sides of the border, coming into America here. We get them from China, and these Russian immigrants are a little far away, but they helped us build our fuel line here. We might even want to grab another fuel truck here. Let's look at this. These pump jacks. Wow, it's already full. We're wasting money for not moving this. You know what? I think we're going to do that. So this is part of the first thing you should do if you're playing every few days and you forget where you left off. When you're playing this game or any kind of city builder game, you figure out where you left off. Don't just start doing something and then forget to finish your previous project. But I think what we'll do here first is, as usual, look for some cheap trucks. Yeah, let's grab that real quick. See, it just appears there. It'll drive over, and we set up our distribution office to now pick up oil. So the way this works, if you're not, I know we've gone over distribution offices before, but maybe in a bit more detail here is, when usually you set load, it goes to 0%. That means that when there's anything more than 0, it basically tries to pick it up. But if you set it to a slightly higher amount, it won't go there until it gets that amount. So that you want to set it to an amount that once it gets there, it's basically taking a full load, because you don't want it to be 25% full at the pump jack, and then leave. But if we like have 25 or 50% of this would be 7.5 tons. So because our vehicle can haul the one we just bought here, it can haul 11. So once it gets to 50% full at the pump jack, it will start heading down this road. And you'd think by the time it gets there, it'll be full, right? Or at least have 11 tons. So we got 2 of those hauling oil now. We'll keep an eye on that. That should, I don't know if that'll keep us, will allow us to gain cash, gain rubles, but it might. It's just something, it's some income. You got to worry about that. You know, the first attempt at communism failed because of fiscal irresponsibility. You know, I'm sure you've played some other games where you got to take on debt and you got to pay the loans, and eventually you realize, oh, I shouldn't have been. Or anything, any kind of game where you spend money. It's like you spend it on something. You know, you upgrade your car in one of those car building games. And you're like, oh, I should have got the other thing. You know, horsepower would have been better than the transmission. Oh well, but now you're stuck with it, right? So you're stuck with your decisions. Similar process here. So LA is still in its infancy. We're getting some infrastructure scheduled. Another thing I want to check here before we get into building construction industries is our, well, not our pub, but that should be built soon too. Oh yes, there we go. Heat exchangers built, our plumbing's built. Oh, but one thing's missing. We actually have the coal or the heating plant ready, but we don't have any coal. So what we're going to need is, because we couldn't find any coal in this map, we are going to have to ship it in. I might set up a rail route to go around this side of the city in the future. Maybe we'll just sort of lay down a line here, just as a reminder. And that'll just sort of remind us that eventually we're thinking of putting a rail line here. Kind of like, just like our freeway system. And that, like, this is when it's going to get really fun, is when we have our infrastructure and we start building our high rises, and it gets, like, if you saw the first episode, you saw the old world and how, you know, busy it got. This one, the goal is to have twice the population minimum. You know, hopefully we can last that long. If anyone has any suggestions for other American cities, because again, this is America we're building here. This is American communism, not that Eastern Bloc stuff. This is the best communism. So we're using American cities in this version. Okay, I know a lot of people from Europe play this game, but we got to make sure we use appropriate American cities. I think in general, as I rename these cities, I'd like to use cities that are kind of like geographically relative. Like, think of this as we're starting on the West Coast here, which is where I assume, you know, it would start. You know, I figured probably Portland or something. And I think there's Portland or Seattle. You know, maybe Seattle and Vancouver become their own nation or something, and Portland and California all become part of it. Like, that's sort of like, if I was to imagine how it would really happen, I would imagine it would start there. I don't think it would start on the East Coast. And much of Canada, like, other than, you know, Vancouver, but I think most of Canada they'd be slow to adapt. I think they would eventually, but it would spread, right? But if I had to guess where it was going to start, I would say it's on the west coast of the United States, northwest, possibly somewhere in California. But we need some cities, so, you know, maybe we'll go with some Texas cities here, and then maybe we'll go to the other coast. We'll get New York in here. I don't know how long this will go for. Like, if this goes on for like 6 months, we'll start developing other cities. But wait till we get a little further in. You know, once we develop the city, I think that an exciting city I think it's more interesting than once it's done. Again, if you saw the first episode, you saw what generally could be done. And I've watched other people stream city builders, and once they get their cities further in, I'm glued to it. This episode, I want to really focus on getting some construction materials produced in this zone. So I don't want to have to be going all the way out to Canada to be getting that stuff. So I was thinking like an asphalt plant, cement factory. We'll have an aggregate container. I think that's like the basic. I'll get into that in a few minutes here. But I just want to continue to go over the city and make sure everyone's going to be okay. So we do need to get some coal in here. So I think we'll have a look at our distribution office. Actually, this might be a case where the Mexican the Mexican distribution office might be closer than Canada. We're kind of going on that side of the city there. So let's just see what we got we don't even have a distribution office here, and we might actually be out of them. So let's find out. I know a lot of people, if you're looking to be purely entertained by this, I apologize. I like to treat this like if you've ever seen The Joy of Painting, like Bob Ross. I used to watch that all the time when I was a kid. Like that was, and I didn't know how to paint, but just watching him paint, I was just glued to it. Even though it's like, I'd be like, this guy is such a painter. But I think he was just an ex-army guy who picked up painting once, and he did it quite a bit so he could teach other people. And a lot of people consider him like the founder of ASMR, like the guy who originated it. And so I knew about that stuff when I was a kid. So like 40 years ago or so. Like I was aware of this concept that certain things. So one of the things I'm doing with these videos, and some of you who are listening to the words might find this funny, but I have now the search phrase background noise. I want to capture the background noise market so that just idle chat for hours in the background, that's what this will be. Every episode will just be somewhat consistently talking. Maybe you're learning how to play the game. Maybe we'll clip some stories out of context here. Maybe I'll go on some tirade about, the taxes, but the one area I think that is under targeted in the entertainment business is background noise. So that's going to be my thing here. I want to capture that market of background noise. I want to be the number one search. You search for background noise, this will be it. It won't be like a waterfall or a drops in the water or the breeze or breeze going through trees. It'll just be some idiot talking about a video game he's playing or incessantly, and that I think is an underserved market. I'm going to work on that. But anyways, we've got to get our distribution office here, and we have another one. We do have another one. Okay, yeah. So for now, this will bring because it's the closest location. Let's use the Mexican one here. And this truck's not doing anything anyway, so I'll just grab it and we will assign it to this distribution office. And if you've seen the previous episodes, let's just hit play for a second here. You have to have a truck in the distribution office to be able to tell it specifically what to pick up. So we can actually just watch this here for a second. And suddenly when it arrives, we'll have a bunch of, we'll hit pause here. So then, once it arrives, it shows you what you can actually pick up. Now, if you were to mix the trucks, like if you had a flatbed truck, a closed hull, a covered hull, and a fuel truck, different items would appear on here. So here what we're going to do is we're going to say load coal specifically, and whenever it is below 30%, So when these conditions match, so when you choose the custom house, you don't have a percent. It just because you're actually buying stuff and selling things, so it's not like it has infinite supply at the custom house. So you don't say once it's got a certain amount. You can always buy coal. So what this will do is whenever the capacity of the heating plant goes below 50%, it will deliver, or 30%, sorry, will deliver coal. So that's sort of set up. So let's see if we can get the track. Let's go a little further out here. Maybe put a little clearance for like loading and unloading stations around here. But just the general area of where a rail line might go. Make some curves here. Let's check that out. It's not bad. Not as far as the power lines, but the rail lines kind of need to get a little into the city, and there could be like lines that sort of branch out in this area if needed. But if not, this will be our line to get around the city. So part of what we're going to do in the second part of this episode is kind of build a little construction zone here. And keep in mind too, we're gonna want to build San Francisco with some of these goods too. So it would be nice to like build some industry here, but I don't know. Like, you know, we might just do some other little separate thing over here. Maybe they'll just buy a lot of their materials from China. Who knows? But I'm thinking around here. Well, this general area is where we're going to have our construction. Mind you, this road's going to disappear. Why did I do this? How did I put? Oh yeah, that's right. We're filling up Skid Row, and it's all full, so we could move that. Let's move these demolition offices. Let's build another one here. Yeah, let's get ourselves a free demolition office, and yeah, let's get a little out of the way for now. In the city, I guess, but yeah, it could be right by the cathedral. We still got all these other buildings to excavate. Let's just put it here for now. Oh, let's put it over here, a little closer to the dump. Right here, this would be perfect. Yeah, right there. So let's move these vehicles over because we're going to take this out. This road, like the only reason we have this road here is because we're building a bit of the gravel road here just to speed up delivery of goods into the zone a little bit. But I think this is as far as we're going to go. We can't empty these dumps anytime soon. I think we're stuck with what's here. What's here, all that stuff's got to stay. We got to build around it. If we're going to do a construction zone, like some of the buildings might go on this side of the track even. And then we'll bulldoze that one. We're getting close. We're just over 3 weeks from winter. We'll bulldoze this now. So let's get rid of that. And then we can build a new technical office. We'll put it here. I'll put it right in town. Yeah, let's put it. So vehicles going through here. Yeah, I think they use this road a lot here. So let's put it here. Actually, no, we got one that's close to that side. Let's put it by the Skid Row, I think. Actually, no, here. Here's good for now. Nothing else is going to use this spot for a while. So we'll put a technical, oops, put a giant one there. all these small. We'll put that there. Set the range for about 2,000 meters. Is that sensible? No, we don't want to go that far. Let's go to 1,000. That's a good one, actually. Look at that. See, it covers. We don't want it to be going out and plowing roads that we don't use. I'm actually going to be specific here. I don't remember putting it. Oh no, that's actually okay. That's going to Mexico. This year we wanted a sign. I don't see that's the no snowplow sign. Can't see that very well. That's it's one of these signs. This is a tip, right? Place no snowplow signs to control your snowplows. So we have it a little bit under control for winter, but we probably forgot a few spots and we'll have to control them because they'll end up wasting time clearing routes where none of your vehicles go, and you don't want them to be doing that. So that's a good location, and then finally we'll take use that feature, move all, and we'll send them to our technical services building. Play, and then we can bulldoze this one too. And then we'll get started with, I think, well, we're fairly caught up here. We've caught a few issues. It's nice to get a little bit more space cleared out as well. Because I'm not exactly sure how we're going to do some of this. This is kind of experiment as we go, right? We've got a gas station. I'm going to stop filling that gas station. I want to eventually get rid of it. So that's, we go to the kind of distribution office. It's getting filled by this. So what was that one called? That was called, it's the San Diego gas station. Okay, so we're going to take that off. So it will eventually run out of gas. And if you if I bulldoze that right now, it will create a bunch of hazardous waste. And maybe we'll set up a permanent gas station around here too, for this side of the city. Like maybe you get off the freeway around here, maybe. If you don't want to, like maybe one in the city is an okay idea, but that a lot of vehicles pass along the freeway, so I think usually the best spots not too far off the freeways. So yeah, we'll eventually do that, but I want to clear this whole area out. And I really do want to get rid of these, like all this here, because I think this is a good area for some factories. If we can, if we find a spot for like a concrete factory that's that has to go here, I'm just going to not build it and just wait. We'll save it for later and slowly empty these out. Like eventually this will get built. Actually, we could run this a little bit longer here. Let's run this till it gets built. Because once we have this additional dump here, this will be the biggest dump we have. This medium one, I believe it has 270 tons. So it's like twice the size of any of our previous dumps. So once this one's finally built, we will be able to theoretically even start moving things out of here. But it's going to take some time. What are we bringing here? The waste, okay. Actually, I just want to do one last check to make sure there's not any waste trucks going out here. There shouldn't be. Let's have a look at our oil or fuel things here. This is, you gotta kind of pay attention. So I don't want the pump jacks to be, they're filling up. We can't keep up. We might need a pipeline. We don't have the technology for a pipeline, I don't think, though. Or unless there's one connection already here. I don't think, I don't know. I think we're going to need another, let's see if we have a spare one of these. Oof. Sometimes I watch these long format podcasts like Lex Friedman or Rogan, and if you're expecting to be, you know, entertained nonstop, if you think about it, none of those shows are like that. They have dull moments. It's just how it is. It's not, it would be weird if it was constantly, uh, some sort of like entertainment, like clowning around too much. For 2-3 hours, it would be kind of weird to watch that. So sometimes it's, once you're in the story, you kind of get involved with it. You get hooked into the story. So, why is that more interesting than this? Well, because it's real, and this is just stupid. That's I guess that's one reason that would be more interesting. But if this is something that you've not seen before, maybe it is interesting, right? So I don't know. It's something to think about. But let's see if we have another distribution depot here to work with, because I don't want to waste this. And I don't know how else to get it. I just want to keep making money out of this. We do have another one. Yes. Yes. Should we go to another? Should we go to China? Actually, we could just, we could have China. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Yeah. I'm going to make another road here. Yes. And we're going to have assign China to it. Because that other truck's doing nothing right now. And let's see if we can get on the grid. I think the entrance is here somewhere. Okay. Yeah, let's go there. Right there. Oops. We'll put down our forest. I try not to have too much juvenile humor in this. Like some of the stuff, I know, like the whole idea of, garbage being your industry, it's a little juvenile, sure. But in moderation, right? And you do need some actual industry. Like if we run out of money, the series is done, right? So we gotta have some legitimate ways of making money. So we'll add this distribution office to also unload oil, and it will also service these pump jacks. And I think we'll add 2 more trucks. That's like they're almost the same distance. It might even be closer to this one. It's a slow road, but whatever. At least nothing's wasted. And I think we're gonna get 2 of those. Let's see if we can find a used one now. Oil tank. No, we're gonna get 2 of the good ones. Because these make money, and we don't want to waste money. So let's do that before. I'm surprised how, yeah. And if we have too many of them, the original ones you have, we'll scrap them. But I think it's time to get to the part where we build industries, construction industry buildings. Let's go. One of the key things is I want to, because we don't have a quarry here, this is going to be kind of our big building. We move this thing around, and one of the things about it is, I was thinking about this afterwards, the general separation will be an input into this. So if we're going to have the general separation in this area here, I'm starting to think this will be the starting location around here. But eventually we do need it to get to our track builder over here. Maybe not quite so far, unless we go with some intermediate aggregate containers. which we probably will actually. How about, no, actually maybe this was the best spot here. Let's see if we can fit everything in this zone, because really what this is about is, yeah, let's go here. I think here. Because we want the road. I don't think there's a way around this. We're gonna have to. I think we're gonna have to do some of these. While we're doing this, I guess this would be part of the same tutorial. Is let's go. We're gonna be doing the aggregate conveyor belts. Okay, so if you're familiar with Satisfactory and other, Factorial and whatnot, Captain of Industry. This is sort of, it's not. This is not as complicated, but it does have its rules. So first off, there's three types of belts. There's aggregates, liquids, and dry bulk cargo. Most of it's aggregate. Liquids is essentially pipes, like for oil, for pipelines, and dry bulk cargo is, I guess, some other form of stuff that goes on there. They all sort of work the same in principle. And when you build these things, the ones that are available here, these are like drivers. So if you connect anything to one of them, these are guaranteed to move goods. Okay, but when you build, for example, like an open, like one of these, a big storage, aggregate storage facility, you'll notice it has the same containers, but these aren't active, so they don't necessarily move things. So if you put these back to back, they won't move. They'll just sort of, and I was explaining in a previous episode with, they work similar to forklifts. So if you're trying to chain these things and you're like, how come they're not filling? Well, it's because you have to put some of the movers in between. But some of the factories that you build will also push a little bit too. They kind of act like these devices. So the point is, you kind of want to mix an active container or conveyor with a factory and your aggregate storages to move stuff around. So we do have roads here, and I think, just given what's going to be going on in this area, I'm thinking we need, just without, without knowing specifically where stuff's going to go yet, I'm pretty sure we're going to need, if we want to use this zone, we're going to have to build one of these here. So this is a useful one. So this is just an overpass. So you just put it like this, and aggregate moves into the next area. I don't know what the capacity of these things is. It's never been an issue because typically the processing is the bottleneck. So like getting the workers and filling up the factory is I haven't seen a situation where it's been so heavily producing things that it can't keep up. But and in addition to that, if this ultimately leads to a concrete factory, then concrete you can't sell anyways. So it's generally just idle most of the time. But you want to automate the process so that, the whole point of this is you want to get concrete and asphalt directly made in this zone, right? Using recycled, parts of the cathedral and houses that have been destroyed in the earthquake here. So to get over the road, though, I think that's a good device. There's other ones here. They don't have. They don't go over the road. This one distinctly goes over the road. That's why that's a useful one here. I think we're going to have. I think we're going to do our gravel separation over here. This is one of those things that would have been nice if I could do offline. just so you could see what it looks like after. But if you just see what it looks like after, I got no content for the next 40 minutes. There's no my market monopoly of background noise is at risk, so I have to do it this way. Um, but you also in this process get to see like the thinking behind stuff, like why things are done a certain way. The key buildings we want to build here are under the construction industry, and if you've played the tutorial and through most of the campaign, I think you are familiar with how these work. But again, there's people who are watching this who don't know the game and they just want to see what kind of stuff you can do in it. So until now, we've been buying all our construction materials from the custom houses, and they're fairly affordable. But if you think about it, there is a markup. You're paying money for it. Whereas if we make it ourselves, we pay nothing, right? That's how uh, like everything's measured in time in the society, right? So uh, furthermore, I'm not only losing actual money from paying for it, you're going way out of your way to get it. This is a lot closer to kind of the zone we want to be in. Um, So it kind of makes sense to have like a construction supply zone. Another thing I'm thinking too, just while we're here, is this is going to be a freeway system. This is going to take a lot of concrete and asphalt to build, and this is kind of like the best way to distribute it. Like if we start here and they start building around here, I think I want to keep it all on ground level, like no elevated freeway here. Uh, there'll be some elevated bridges that go over it, but because it gets cheaper just to do a single bridge that goes in each direction over top than two bridges over top. So they'll just all be ground level. But that will also create a bit of an expressway around the city, so that further construction work it probably would be quicker to actually go from here to this side via the perimeter. But there is a certain point where going through the city might be more effective. But also too, we're probably going to develop some things in this area in the future. So, and you can't really, like, you can put these highways in the city, but if they're stopping at all these intersections, what's the point, right? The idea of a highway is to not stop, and it's to skip zones, and it's not necessarily for the benefit of the vehicles that itself. It's like when you're on a highway going around the city, you're not necessarily like the thing that you're doing that contributes is you're staying out of the city. Like you're getting off the grid, right? You're out of the way of traffic. So that's how you're contributing by taking highways. Um, so it's like it's not what you're doing. It's not necessarily the benefit to you. It's the benefit to others that you're not, in traffic, making worse for everyone, right? So we've got to give people that option. It's got to be fast enough to be worthwhile. And I think, and that's why I wanted to kind of build it specifically here. Maybe we could build it here even, like right here. I don't think there'll be any, I don't think there will be a freeway that necessarily goes into right here. We might add something that wraps around. Like if the city ever gets big enough, you could add an additional freeway bypass, but we already kind of have this in mind anyways, like the expressway to Canada. I don't really know like what kind of traffic you'd have from this quad. Like there's nothing here yet, so there's really no motivation to build anything here. We could keep that in mind for later. Maybe I could throw a road here just to remind myself that you might want freeway here. Let's just go parallel mode here. And just as a reminder, this could be a zone. That could be a bridge. But for all intents and purposes, the freeway I don't have any, like, this is the going into the dump, right? So you don't have freeways running into the dump. So um, I think this whole zone here, right up to around here even, I think, because we already have some industry, so we're starting to get a little bit of pollution here, right? This is a prison. It's not like, this isn't the tourist destination zone. Let's just put it that way. So if we did just work the other way around, so we have a cement plant. We got two sizes. Let's check them out. Holy crap, that's a big cement plant. Okay, so I remember building this once before, and remember even the small one was too big. Now I have to wonder if is there a rail connection to this? Do you really need that much cement? Okay, but we need that. So the cement itself actually isn't used for anything, I don't think, other than to make concrete. Because concrete takes gravel and cement takes gravel and coal. We could make a brick factory, because if we're going to be dropping off coal, brick factory takes coal, just coal. And we're going to definitely have an asphalt plant, and we'll get the bitumen from one of our refineries later. So we actually have, in terms of ingredients here, we got coal and gravel making cement. Here we have gravel and cement. So just, again, we just have more gravel. This we have bitumen and gravel making asphalt. And this we have just coal. So the only things we need input here are gravel, coal, and bitumen. And we're going to get the bitumen delivered directly to the asphalt plant. So we need gravel and we need coal. And coal on this side for sure. Maybe even on this side of the road. But, oh, we could do it. Yeah, I think I know where it could go here. I think this will be, this road here, this will be like our outer, this is the edge of Dump City. Like, this is the furthest extent of it, right? And I think coal makes sense to be something that could be picked up here. So, and we need workers around this area too at some point. Okay, so we're going to take this serious here. This is serious industrial planning at this point. We've done enough theorizing. So let's get our aggregate storages. And we do that. Yeah, so one cool thing is we're not going to have gravels or gravel quarries if you're not doing a garbage-based game, which I guess most people aren't. But I think the normal setup is you build this around a quarry, but not in this world. And if we don't have enough construction waste, we're going to just buy some, okay? So maybe we have a bin for construction waste as well. So let's go to the aggregates tab here, and so what can we store here? We can store, we can store construction waste. We can store coal, and we store quarried, gravel. Yeah. Normally you have to get quarried stone that goes through various other processing, but not in this world. So we're going to have a few of these. I usually go with the smallest ones, but if this gives us some ramps to get over stuff, like whatever has the best ramps is kind of the ones I think work best. Okay. Like I don't want to, like we don't need 5,000 tons of capacity. It's just expensive. I think it's just not worth it. What's the, like 2,000 work days for the biggest one, and this one here is like 344. Like, can we get over top? Like, can we run these over the rail line? That's another thing we need to know. This one's a little bit more. Ooh, that's got a high line in. I like the way these look. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah. Let's go with, I think this will be, like, it's a little bit more expensive, but that will definitely get us over the tracks. Can we flip that? No, we got, just look here, it looks like we have two bi-directional. I think we get a road under there, though. So this will be, yeah, maybe we could put it here, though. This actually might make sense here. Yeah, I think this is looking right here. This seems right, because we already have a road here. And then it can go over top and input into our factories. And we could also add a train station here too. So if we go like there, maybe there. Let's try that. And see if we can get, so let's imagine, okay, that's not, like that's not the way we want it for coal. Like it's not the best spot, but for aggregate for sure. Like for gravel, that would be a good spot. We need one for construction waste as well, though. Do we need to deliver this much aggregate? I don't know. It seems a little big. It's too tight here. This is too tight. We gotta move these over a bit. Let's just get rid of that. And let's try that there. Right there. And then let's go quite a bit further apart here. Go there. I thought of doing an episode as Slingblade. I thought of that before the show today. Just go full Slingblade character. But that, is that appropriate for this, do you think? This is where the trucks pick up the concrete, so it would kind of make sense to put this as close as possible to the start of the freeway system. And the cool thing about it is, as you build the freeway outwards, it like it can use itself to move faster, right? So it expands quickly out of this zone. So let's just imagine it goes here. I think this would be a great spot to build a, like a lot of everything uses the concrete too, right? I think having it getting onto the freeway is better than even in the city, because at least you're going to need it to build the freeway, and then you can use that same freeway to get to the city on the other side. So let's go with, let's see if we can get it here. Okay, we're going to add a bus stop somewhere around here, but let's just try that for now. Okay, let's see. Now we'll see if we can fit a cement building in here now. I've obviously got the small one. It's huge anyways. Big one's insane. I don't know enough about the game to know why you might build that big one. Maybe it makes a lot of money. I don't know. And now I'm thinking we should place this first and then place our storage containers around it. I think that's the solution. Yep, let's do that. Let's just place it and then let the other containers be placed around it. Let's bulldoze everything. And we did want them on this side here, so I do like the idea that they're closer to the city here too. So let's do it that way. Yeah. And this is the process. Yeah, I think this is. Then I think we're gonna have the aggregate going through there, the gravel, and then for sure the cement plant will fit. Capacity. Let's try something like that. And this might actually be permanent. Let's see if we can get a road connected. It's not bad. Not bad. We can move that though. So the main thing is the cement comes out of here. Actually, it'd be nice to. Is there a? I wonder if there's a gravel. One that unloads on both sides. Maybe that's the advantage of the slightly bigger ones. Oh well. What have we here? What have we here? Does this have any? It's just a. What's the really expensive one, dude? Why is this so expensive? Let's see why that one's more expensive. This is insanely expensive. Doesn't seem that high off the ground even. I think I'm really liking this one here. This goes both ways, right? And does it go over the road? No, it doesn't. It's ground level though. That's the only negative to it. But see, this could bring in construction waste. Okay. So we know the asphalt plant. I like to just deliver the oil or the bitumen directly to these. So we can get that in. I just want to check the walking routes here. There's no, I guess you gotta walk in by the street. Do you ever ordered asphalt and done work with asphalt? I did once. So this is a true story. I probably shouldn't admit this story. It's kind of horrible. So I want to do an asphalt sidewalk, and I went to the asphalt plant, and I didn't have a vehicle to haul it, like have a truck, and I know some people with a trailer. So I went to Home Depot and I rented a 24-hour trailer, and I put some plastic on it, and I brought it to the asphalt plant, and the guy just looked at me and just said, like, he just laughed. He says, that's not going to work because it's like super hot. It just instantly melts the plastic layer, which it did. But I got the asphalt on it. I did the work, but the thing was covered in asphalt. So I took some gasoline and scrubbed it clean, and used some rags and returned it, and no issues. No one noticed. It was a couple hours of cleaning, but I got the job done. In hindsight, I should have just hired a company. They have like dedicated trucks that put asphalt on it. Okay, this is too close. So that's as close as we can get to the site anyway. So this has to go here. Let's bulldoze this though. Blow this up. And now I think we'll be able to fit some things in. It's coming together slowly but surely. And yeah, too, that's the game. This is the game. This planning, like it's a one-shot deal. You're not going to build. You can't move these around later. Unlike other games, it's a one-shot deal. And it's a big. You have to wait for demolition. You gotta wait a long time to rebuild these things. So you can't really change your mind later. So let's try that. Okay, that works. Yeah. And then we can get, I think we might be able to get a road under there. It's as close as we can get it though. And I think we can fit a road here. Okay, yeah. Let's go like this even. That's slick. It's got an angle to it. And so here. So that's 3 construction buildings. Okay. 5th time's the charm. Okay, don't misclick anything. I think just the smallest moving of the mouse misaligns it. Okay. That looks okay. Okay. I think we're onto something here. Train line's a little weird. Again, these aren't committed. You know, I think I might even bend the track a little bit here because it looks a little funny. But let's get, okay, so now we have cement, and cement takes, so that's its gravel, but it also needs coal. But we also need to pick up coal for local stuff too. Later on, we'll set up a rail distribution office that will keep these things stocked. But you don't want to set routes to be, always delivering that stuff. And the rail distribution offices work just like cars, but we need to get some in here first. Okay, so let's we need an aggregate holding facility for coal. Now we could build a brick. Let's just have a quick look here. Like, it's so easy to build a brick factory. Maybe it's worth it. So let's. We might not enable it though, but at least it's there. So there's a brick factory, and then we need our coal aggregate. Let's try that. So this seems to work. This one up here. Try the far one. So you get a road under there. You get a road under there in business. Yes, we can. Doesn't have to be straight, but we know that's a road. We know that can go there. Straighten that up after. Now we just need to be able to get stuff from our. Okay, so our aggregate recycling will send some into our rail construction office. So let's go to that one there. Almost done here. Okay, you know what? I think we're going to clean up this rail section here, because what I want to do is possibly deliver construction waste to this. If it's like running out. Okay, so there's two ways construction waste to be able to get into it. I think it's going to be hard to do actually, unless we have another. I think we have to have another bin here. Let's do that real quick. Yeah, so actually let's do the rail first. Okay, so let's get rid of this here. And we want to have enough space to get our coal dropped off, and like maybe we could sell. I don't know if we can sell some of the gravel we make. Used to say, but let's see if we can get that in there. All right, let's go with that. Okay, that gives a lot of clearance. And then we can get. We can move this a little bit. Okay, let's go that close as possible. Okay, so we'll be able to get I'm pretty sure we can get track into that. Let's just put a little bit of track to find out. Not necessarily exactly where it's going to go, but I just want to make sure our aggregate can go over there. Yeah, didn't really want to do this episode. I just wanted to buy all this, but that was a mistake I made in the first game, that I was buying everything, and I went bankrupt. So I assume that wasn't a good idea. General squareness is a good idea. Okay, looking at aggregates. I think all our roads and stuff should be okay. Yep, and then we just gotta get this this here connected to a merger, a low level one. Oh, that one works. All right. There's one. Okay, so yeah, then a general separation facility we'll just input there. So yeah, this is our recycling of construction materials episode. We had to bring some coal in, but otherwise, construction waste becomes pretty much everything we need to build our cities. Hope you enjoyed it. Just let me know what you think in the comments below. If you think of ways to improve this. It's not perfect, but it's something, and it should help grow your city more efficiently without breaking the bank. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.